Bread has a lot of protein. Do you think if I did a video like this every single day that people would watch it? I've been getting really into bread recently. Bread, because I have no money. Bought carpet recently. I spent £60 on carpet. The wood flooring is in, like, it's old, it's rotted to the core. Laminate flooring, linoleum on top that's been there since the year 2000. It's not even glued down. But my plan is to cover it with a carpet because whenever I walk, the whole house can hear like Anyway, so I spent all my money on carpet. So I spent all my money on apricot carpeting. It's kind of thin and shabby and gross. I hope the carpet isn't shaggy. It hasn't arrived yet. So I spent all my money on cheap carpet. And so I've been eating bread and water and black coffee. And I'm living for it. I didn't realize bread was good. Did you get my message? Sometimes I feel like the only people in the world who watch the Doom Patrol TV show by whatever the DC streaming platform is called. Sometimes I feel like the only people who watched that show was me and Mike Stoklosa.
Doom Patrol, which is a show. I haven't watched like any of the other crap from DC. There's
sure.
Teen Titans, like live action. I'm like Batwoman, or
yeah.
There's a bunch of shows. I've watched Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol's really good.
Mike Stoklosa from Smiling Friends fame. I was thinking about the different groups of Doom Patrol that's like shown in media, like the heirs of the comics. I was thinking about Casey, Space Case, I forget her last name, Casey. I was thinking about how the modern iteration of the comics, I don't know when she was introduced, it may have been the modern comics, I don't know, but I was thinking about the modern one of the comics. That was my first introduction to her as a character, because she's like the main character for the current run. I wouldn't call her the main... Yeah, I guess she's the main character for the current run. Or maybe the run 5 years ago, I'm not up to date entirely. And I was reading, I have some of the more ancient issues, and it seems back then the main character was Robot Man. Well, all of them as a group. Cliff definitely was front and center, mostly. I was thinking about Casey, how in the Doom Patrol series, I love that show. Okay, first of all, every episode is like it's like group therapy. Where these people, they just have to keep going through their own minds over and over and over and over and over again in every single episode. And it's wonderful. If you don't want to watch people delve into their own brains for how many seasons? 3 seasons? 5 seasons? 4 seasons? I don't remember how many seasons there are. There should be more. And then towards the end, okay, that was I think there was a backdoor pilot for some show that's now on Netflix or Amazon. The ghost hunting people. It very much seemed like a backdoor pilot, and I was bored by it. But they had to get rid of the little girl, Dorothy. I haven't watched the show in like a long time, but I watched it back to back a few months ago. I like when a show is long enough that you can just do that and not be bored. I was thinking about the forced introduction of Casey in the show and how when I first saw her, I thought that she was miscast. I thought this person's a little too bland. I understand she's like a fictional character brought to life in a very meta way. Like that's who she is. She's like, and in the show, she's a fictional character. She has her own series of comic books and she's brought to life in the show. It's because by Dorothy? Does Dorothy bring her to life? I was thinking about how that seems very forced and how her character is very, very bland. And there's a forced romantic subplot at the end in the musical episode, which a lot of them are musical episodes. I live for it. The musical episode with Casey and Jean. Why am I talking about this if I don't even remember the plot? I liked Jean and the Fog. I liked Jean and the Fog. I thought that they were cool. I understand people think that was like a controlling relationship. It was abusive because she's a fog. But I liked it. I can see why people wouldn't like the show, but because even the bad parts of it I enjoy. Ironically, like the same way I like Glee. in that like a lot of it's really, really genuinely good and fucking amazing, but then 99% of it is cringe. But that's also wonderful because it's cringe. But I felt like Casey introduction was very forced. And then I thought her, like, I was so excited whenever Casey showed up. I was like, I know her. I know her because I read that the modern the modern run of the comics. I know Casey kind of. I know her father is an alien in the show. She's just there. And she's like, who am I? I don't really have a place. I'm a fictional character. And then they use that to make her bond with Jane, because Jane has, like, Jane has DID. It's portrayed in a very literal and artistic way that I think is great, because the way that they laid it out, I thought I could understand it 100%, where they were coming from, what they were doing, why they did what they did, the way that they showed it. I don't have DID. I understand it. I understand why people's brains do that. I get it. And I knew what her resolution had to be by the end of the show in order to like heal. I don't know how else to put that. In order to heal. Become one. I understand that's probably a long process. It takes a whole lifetime becoming one person. I understood that in order to start that, she would have to acknowledge whatever she was, you know, whatever broke her, whatever caused, whatever stress. And we know what that stress was. So I was so, her cathartic moment was like my cathartic moment in the show. When she, you know, finally came to face with her trauma. After like 4 seasons, I was like, oh my god, finally, she fucking acknowledged it. That's wonderful. And like, I felt so free as a fucking viewer who had to endure her trauma every fucking episode, because like I said, every episode's like they go to group therapy literally every episode. It's like you're catching up with them in therapy, but the therapy is like literal and magic. And that sounds horrible and cringe, and it kind of is, but it's also great and entertaining. And what the fuck was going on with, I was gonna say Jerry Trainer. What the fuck was going on with Jerry Trainer? Negative Man, his favorite character potential. You know, he is like, oh, he's me potential. Well, they all kind of have, oh, they're me potential, except Cliff. Yeah, they're just all like super relatable. I feel like they are the different parts of my brain. What the fuck was going on with Larry Trainer? I feel like every episode he had some new bullshit to deal with that you knew was never going to get a resolution. It was just so... I think the first season for him was like perfect. I don't remember what happened in season 2. I just remember at some point, there was a point in the show where everything he was doing, you knew just doesn't matter to the plot. I feel like they all got to that point, except for Rita, she became more important, and I love her whole sisterhood of Dada stuff. I thought that's so, I know that's coming from the comics, that's why it was good, that's why it was enjoyable. I never had read about the sisterhood in the comics. I never got that like storyline. I never saw it, so seeing it in the show was wonderful. I'm done talking about this. I need to watch the show again and then have opinions. I just felt like I said a lot of stuff that it never got resolved, but I do that all the time. But I'm not even resolving the stuff that I said because I'm not watching that back. I think there was something that I had to shag carpeting and Doom Patrol, right? That was it. Shag carpeting and Doom Patrol. Look at this. I bought today. $15. Overpriced? Maybe.